What's up, guys? Chad and Bailey in here with the Reptile Rangers. Now, we're at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center again today, and we're going to show you a couple of cool snakes that, of course, we brought in for customers. We're going to talk about them and about the genetics behind them just a little bit, give a little bit of genetic education and color morph education. But before we get into that, right here, see right there, right underneath my finger, is that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that, and we appreciate you doing so. All right, now let's get started right into this. Bailey has the corn snake. Okay, we're going to talk about this corn snake here in just a minute, and I have a beautiful ball python. Okay, now to start, Bailey has this corn snake that's called the coral snow. Okay, now understand the coral snow is made up of three genetics: the hypomelanistic, the anerytheristic, and the amelanistic. Okay, and all three of these genetics make up the coral snow. Now, Bailian, what are all three of these genetics?
Recessive genetics.
Very good. Now, the anerytheristic, known as the black albino, is a recessive genetic. Means that it takes two to tango. Both parents have to carry what's called the allele, or the genetics, to throw that color. If you was to pair the anerytheristic to a normal, they would all be normal, het, or the word het, for anerytheristic. The same thing goes for the hypomelanistic and for the amelanistic. And the amelanistic is another type of albinism gene. It's not the true albino, but it is a type of albinism gene, as it does have the red eyes. Now, this snake right here, all right, Bailey, and bring the snake right on up here. We're going to come right up here. Look how beautiful that thing is. Now, one of the weird things about this is the fact that most everybody knows that anerytheristic is a dark snake. Makes a very, very dark snake, hence the term black albino. But when you pair it off with multiple other genetics, it can throw all different kinds of colors, hence this pinkish, which will turn a little bit more pinkish reddish color as it does get bigger, as it gets older. But it carries three different recessive genetics. All three of the traits in this snake are recessive. So if you wanted to produce any of those colors, you have to take this snake and pair it to something that already carries those genetics, or you pair it to something normal, you're going to get what's called a triple het babies, coming out potentially het for all three of these colors. Okay, now next, let's talk about this ball python. This super inchy lemon blast, or lemon blast super inchy, or there's many different ways you can phrase this, is a three gene combination animal. Now, even though it's a super inchy, it's still just a super form of itself. It is a different color, but it's not just a totally different genetic. It's still just the same genetics, just making a higher form of itself, which could still be construed as a 4-gene if you really wanted to put it that way. Most people are going to consider it a 3-gene because it's still just an inchy. It's just a super form of the inchy. But what this snake carries is the inchy, which in and of itself is not really that cool. All right, just a single gene inchy is not that great of a snake, and most of your ball python breeders will find it a very boring color. But once you start mixing it in with other genetics, makes a very, very beautiful snake and throws some really cool combinations. Now, in addition to the super inchy, which is, it's not a normal, but it's kind of close. If you didn't really know what you were looking for, you would just kind of think in some of your low-end inchies. Now, some of your high-end inchies are going to look a little bit different, but your low-end inchies, most people would consider it a normal. But in addition, it also carries the pastel and the pinstripe. Now, in the ball python line, every one of these are codoms. Okay, so you could have a inchy or a pinstripe or a pastel and pair it to a normal, and at least some of the clutch is going to come out looking like the morph. Okay, now this is a super form of the inchy, and it also carries the pinstriping pattern, and it carries the additional pastel yellow coloration. So it is a mixture of all of those genetics, which makes this absolutely beautifully bright yellow animal. The lemon blast is a pretty popular morph, and then you take and throw the inchy into it, and it just helps nice and darken that yellow up. Now, again, this is Chad and Bailian. This has been just a little look into some genetics of a ball python, one of about 5,400 different colors and patterns of ball pythons, and then, of course, the corn snake, one of many hundreds and hundreds of different colors of corn snakes. We hope this has been enjoyable and you've learned a little bit about genetics, the difference between codom and recessive. And again, this is Chad and Bailey, and we are the Reptile Rangers here at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center. Our information will be in the description below. If you want to get in touch with us or need to get in touch with us for anything medical related or about the zoo or housing or food, any kind of topics that you need help with, it will be in the description below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. We appreciate you following along week after week after week. We'll either see you here at the zoo or we'll see you on the next episode. Later.